And welcome to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster, as I look ahead to one of the big Saturdays racing of the whole summer. It is, of course, Ascot and the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes taking place, the principal meeting, but lots of other very good racing as well. I have two free selections for you here this Saturday at Sportsbet. If you're new to the YouTube channel, just press the subscribe key and you'll be able to follow all my free bets as and when I post them. And if you're looking for more selections, then I have plenty on offer at Out in Front, my subscription service at Patreon, where we had one lovely winner from one runner yesterday at 15-2. And I'm hoping there'll be more both Friday and Saturday. And of course, next week, where we have not only the fantastic Glorious Goodwood meeting, but also the Galway Festival. So there's going to be loads of tips flying around on my Out in Front service next week. So great time to sign up and join in the fun. Goodwood's often been a very good meeting for me. So I hope that in particular is going to be the case once again. Last week, I just had the one selection. It was in that huge field in the 2-year-old sales race. Come Chameleon running okay, but not managing to land a blow in the end at quite big odds. But the two that I have for you, I'm pretty optimistic are going to go well this Saturday. By the way, the King George, I'm thinking that Jan Bruegel is probably going to get the better of the argument again from Calandigan, but we'll wait to see. I wouldn't be getting involved at the odds that those two are in just a small 5-runner, but very select field in the King George. Now, my first selection for Saturdays at York, their 2 o'clock race is the £100,000 Sky Bet Dash. Now, they're saying it's going to be good to stop, but it might dry out a touch there for the 22 runners who are going to hurtle down that straight course on the Nade's Mire in search of the lion's share of the £100 prize money. And most of them can be given a decent chance, as is often the case in big handicaps. And it is often the case in big handicaps. Unsurprisingly, the William Haggas train runner is favourite early doors. That's Elmond Jed, a winner of a similar event over the course and distance at the Ebor meeting last August, so goes well here. And a good second at Windsor last time. The early favourite Elmond Jed at 11-2. I would think it'll be right there in the thick of the action. The French listed winner, Toyotomi, is now having only its second start for David O'Mara, who does really well at York. And it's got top weight of 9 stone 12. Now, Toyotomi shaped fairly well on his first start for the odd when it was 4th in a Group 3 at Deauville almost 3 weeks ago, and remains something of a dark horse here in Britain, with his form lines very difficult to assess against the British handicappers. Strike Red, Rock Opera and Brooklyn 99 all represent Richard Fahey. Brooklyn 99 had an awkward moment at the stalls on Thursday night at Yarmouth, so he may possibly race again because he never managed to get into the race after half rearing up and half getting stuck as the stalls open. Strike Red, I think, might be the best of the Fahey trio. Kevin Ryan runs both the Pontefract recent winner Annie's Dancer and also Sergeant Wilco. Sergeant Wilco's drawn under the stance rail in 22 and he's run well on each of his last 3 starts and is one of the more likely outsiders, I'd suggest. And Jeff Oldroyd has always rated the lightly raced Pocklington, who ran a fine race to be beaten just a short head at Newcastle 4 weeks ago on his first start for 10 months. He should strip fitter for that, and if he continues his revival onto the turf, he might be a danger to all. While the Jenny Candlish stable has been in great form and has done a marvellous job with Al Zahir, who's going to go for his 4th handicap win in 4 weeks, after dropping down to the minimum trip to score well at Ascot a fortnight ago off a £3 lower mark. My selection, well, although the form book suggests that Corker, trained by Cole Burke and the mount of young Jack Nicholls, is not as good over this trip as he is over 5 furlongs, the fact remains that he ran a great race to be 3rd in the Air Gold Cup over 6 furlongs last September, was a rock-solid 3rd of 16 over this course and distance at the May meeting, and most recently was 8th of 28 behind Get It in the red-hot 6 furlong Wokingham handicap, and that after he missed the break. Had he jumped off on terms at Ascot last month, I think he might have finished in the places, Corker, that day. Now, Jack Nicholls is an up-and-coming young apprentice, and his £7 allowance is going to come in handy. And if he gets a clear run at things, then Corker should go well at a track where he's contested a host of big handicaps over the last few seasons, and has been in the first three on 8 from 14 attempts. Now, the early 25 to 1 with the sponsors Sky Bet and with Paddy Power was soon taken, and Colbert's charge is now a best price 16 to 1 each way for 6 places, and that is with Bet365. So 16 to 1 each way is my call for Corker in the 2 o'clock race at York. Now, I said there'd be another selection, and true to my word, here it is in the Ascot 3 o'clock. This is the International Handicap, another big prize on offer. Quicker ground at Ascot. It's good to firm in places. There are 22 runners. Now, the early betting sees the field being offered at 6 to 1 the field. Joint favourites being Alto for Ian Williams and Acadian Thunder for David O'Mara. And they're drawn on opposite sides of the track, which is suggesting that the bookies think, at least, that there's not going to be a great deal of bias on the calls for this meeting. Now, Alto, with odds of 4.040 to 1 to get within a nose of beating the very progressive More Thunder in the Bunbury Cup 2 weeks ago, he's actually £1 lower here, but will be £5 higher in future ratings, so he's ahead of the handicapper in this run. If he's in similar form, he'd have to have another great chance of a bold show. For his part, Acadian Thunder was 9th in the Bunbury Cup, but had previously looked more at home on this track over the course and distance, when he was 2nd of 27 in the Buckingham Palace handicap at Royal Ascot. So a return here is a positive, even allowing for him being £4 higher this time. Now, last year's winner, Northern Express for Michael Dons, looks sure to go well again. He runs his best races at this track and is £2 lower than his win in the race 12 months ago. He also ran a solid 7th over the course and distance at Royal Ascot, and then was a fair 4th at Haydock last time after an awkward start. The James Fanshawe train Fresh was 3rd in this race behind Northern Express last year, having won it in 2022. He's another who loves this place, and he's surely going to strip a bit fitter for his belated first run of the season, which came just 4 weeks ago at Newcastle. Now, this is a first start in a handicap for Array, who is trained by Andrew Balding. He was a Group 2 winner 2 years ago as a juvenile. I think it was the Mill Reef. And he's been without a win since in a truncated career. He's obviously had 1 or 2 training issues. He was last seen in Group 3 company on the all-weather, but has been supported already for this handicap debut, so it's an interesting contender, Array. Richard Hannon's Classic is carrying a £3 penalty for a win at Sundown earlier this month, but I'm not certain that he's going to prove quite as effective on this track. While the classy top weight Zoom Zoom for Rafe Beckett and the first-time Lincoln Oliver show for George Bowie, runner-up in the Lincoln handicap at the start of the season, are amongst a host of others with form claims in a wide-open event. Billy Joe is another, 3rd in the Bunbury Cup last time. He's holding his form well and comes right into the reckoning. I'm going to be backing 2 in this race, one of which I've already highlighted at Out in Front, my subscription service. Remember, you can sign up by clicking on the link just in the description box below this screen. But here at Sportsbet, Yorkshire is a horse I think is going to run a really big race. Not just because I'm a Yorkshireman, but because Ed Bethel is a terrific trainer. Callum Rodriguez gets on very well with the horse. This is a horse who is really solid, tough and reliable in good handicaps, and he ran another good race when he was 6th of the 27 runners in the Buckingham Palace handicap last time. He's been eased a pound, and I'm quite happy to see that he's been given a little bit of a rest since then. His stall 14 draw as well is pretty much central. That's going to give Rodriguez plenty of tactical options, and I think it could be the turn of Yorkshire to win one of these big handicaps, and why not on Saturday for a big prize? He won't be far away, and he's 14 to 1 each way, and that's offered at 6 places with a number of the big major firms. So those are my 2 selections, as I say, for Saturday. Plenty more at Out in Front, and do think seriously about joining me for both Glorious Goodwood and the Galway Festival, which is sensational as well. I'll be really getting stuck into the form book, and there'll be plenty of tips flying around for those 2 outstanding meetings coming up next week. But for now, from me, Paul Alster, I'll say goodbye and look forward to seeing you the same time next week.